everyone, Sue here from Sue's Dolbrodmaeth garden today. I have a hat on today, it's supposed to have a light, but I had to take the fixing out when you wash it in the washing machine. So that's what that is. Anyway, so I just want to show you what I'm going to do in the polytunnel today. So I've just watered it because I noticed it was quite dry, so even though it's winter, well, nearly winter, but when's official winter start? Anyway, I've just watered it. And I'm just going to sow some seeds. I found the seeds that I'd put somewhere, which I wondered where my onion seeds were. So I've got some onions here called Alicia Gray. I think I grew these before. I think these are the little onions that I've got indoors, and they're really they're a large golden straw coloured onion. So I thought if I sow them now, maybe next year I might get bigger onions from seed, because this year when I sowed the onions it was February or March, and obviously the onions didn't become that big, so they're indoors. I'm going to do a video about pickling onions. Won't be very complicated the way I do it. Anyway, so I've got all these onions that I've tried that are indoors, and I need to pickle them. So, and some of them are Alicia Gray and a red onion. I can't remember what the red onion is. And also I'm going to sow some spring onions, these ones which I just found in the pot. They were in the kitchen actually, on the shelf, and these are the North Holland blood red spring onions that I had this year, which I thought were really nice. So we're going to grow some more of those. And I've also just found the cabbage. Oh, this is the Savoy cabbage that I've already got up on the table. So I thought I might sow some more of these just to keep them going, because I am losing things to slugs and things. Oh, it's really windy today. So I've got the doors open on the polytunnel to aerate it so that it's not all stuffy. I think this is what I didn't do enough in the summer. But I should have opened both sets of doors, but the only problem that I have with doing this is the pheasants. Because I've got these buckets. I'm just going to shut this one a bit. It is quite windy today. And I don't want the wind to come in the polytunnel and move everything around. So I think it's good for the plants to get a bit of air on them. You know, like my rose and the aubergines. Apparently I should have done this a bit more in the summertime. Well, we live and learn, but I want that special netting, as I said in my previous video. I need to have some special netting on my doors so that I can keep the doors open, but don't have pheasants, cats, that's another thing, and little birds flying in here. They accidentally fly in here, like little robins and sparrows and stuff, but they soon fly out again. So what I want to do today, I'm not sure how much work I'm going to do outside. We'll see, but I'm just going to sow these seeds first. So I actually got a pot here that I've done yesterday with composting that I made. So I'm going to sow the actual onions into the pot. So I'm going to start doing that first, and then we'll transplant them into the polytunnel. I'm waiting for those calendula over there to die off under the table, but I don't want to, like, they're flowering at the moment, so I'm just going to leave them. But when they die off, I think I might put the onions under the table. Yeah, because I've already got onions in this bed. I've still got the chives growing, so they might grow back next year. So I thought if I trim them up again... Sorry, I just drank some coffee really fast. I thought if I trim up these chives... I need to tidy this bed because there's garlic at the back here. Yeah, that reminds me, I've got to put some garlic in outside, haven't I? I said I would do that. Oh, so many things to do, I never know what to do. Anyway, at the moment, I'm just going to do some of these onions in some pots, and I'll show you me doing that if you want. You don't have to watch, but you can if you want. And I was looking at these blue flowers that I've got here that are growing, and they seem to have loads of flower heads keep growing on them, and now they keep dying off. I think it's too cold. But I think, hopefully, look, see, they keep dying. They're not actually coming into flower. Because it's a bit cold now, so it's producing flowers. but then dying off because it's too cold, I think. But I'm hoping that this plant next year, if I trim it back a bit, it will come back. I don't know, I have to look it up. I really don't know about this plant. But yeah, it seems to have grown really late. I've got 2 of them in this bed. Now I'll have to keep an eye on it. Anyway, let's get on, okay? Hello again. So I've just tidied up some of the physalis. Oh sorry, my head's getting chopped off. Is it better? I'm just tidied up some of the physalis on the table and watered them. So, because they were quite dry actually, and I noticed that they're really the roots are really compact, but I don't really want to interfere with them at the moment, so I've given them a really good haircut, so I don't know. But what I'm going to do is, I've got some earth here that I just took, that I sieved, that's in my bag, and what I'm going to do is just add a couple of handfuls of bloodfish and bone to that and mix it in, and then put it on the tops of those physalis over there, because I noticed that the roots are quite near the surface, because I was just scraping the top of the soil to try and sort of soften it a bit so I could water them, and then I noticed the roots are right near the top. So what I'm going to do is just I mean, I don't know if this is going to work. They probably will just die, but if they survive the winter, it would be really good if they grew back next year, wouldn't it? But we'll see. I don't know. I've really got no clue if they're going to survive, but I could cover them up with some I've got like this plastic stuff, but I will buy some fleece actually. I need to get some. I haven't got any fleece, so I definitely need to buy some. I'm just going to put my gloves on to mix up the earth, because it's absolutely freezing cold and it's quite yucky. It's quite wet. So I'm just going to mix it in with my hand and then just sprinkle this on top of the plants, and it might help. Oh, there's a worm. We don't want that in there. Put that down there, and it's stuck in a pot of earth. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'll just turn the camera around, face the other way, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. They're just there on the table. I've just picked them up off the floor and sorted them out. I don't think the melon, by the way, is going to grow any bigger. I really don't. Anyway, let's just turn the camera around to the other side. So I'm just going to take over the earth from this side to that side. So we're now over this side. I'm just going to put it on top of these plants here. Oh, we're not quite all the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sprinkle it on top of these physalis and see if it helps. It might be alright for them. It might overwinter them. Just take that little fruit off of that one. It's not as a little fruit in there. To put the fruits on. Now this one in the middle there, you can really see the roots. So obviously the roots are quite shallow. See if it works. I'm putting on this mine anyway out of my garden, sifted, so no loss, it doesn't work. I did get a lot of the physalis flowers, I must say. I will show you them. I was going to try and make a jam or something out of them. Because I think I've just got to wait for them to ripen a little. Right. That's it. So what I've done is I've just basically put some earth on top of it. Very complicated. So anyway, what we're going to do now is we're just going to sow some. Let's go and get a bit more earth by the looks of it. I need to get a bit more earth before I can do the 2 lots of onions. I was going to sow some straight into the soil, but as I just said, I want to put some of them under that table there. Under that table I have 3 rows of rocket, I think, that I sowed the other day. I think it's rocket. Oh, that's when my pen wasn't working. I don't know if you saw that video, but now it's really hard for me to see what it says. But anyway, there's 3 rows of something under that table with the strawberries, but I want to sow some onions under that table, but I can't at the moment. So what I'm going to do is just put them, start them off on the table there, and then we'll move them later once they're little plants. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, or wherever any other available space comes up. Ooh, windy. Anyway, let's just turn the camera back round to the other way. Okay. Hi there again. So we're back over here, and I've just gone and got some compost. I'm just going to throw it in here. It's really cold, this compost. So I'm going to just put my gloves on to put the compost in the pots that I'm going to use. So has this one got holes in? There is one I previously made. This one doesn't seem to have any holes in it. I don't know if I should use that one. If I can find my knife. So I'm just going to make some holes in this one. I've got loads of these in the garage, but they're all at the back, and now there's all things in the way. So I'm just using ones that I can just grab at the moment. This was some mushrooms that I bought the other day. And I've got like a really big one that had some sausages in that I bought wholesale. And I really like these. These are really good for doing lots of seeds in. And you know, they come with my food, so it don't really matter. This had mushrooms in it as well. So you just put some of this compost in here. Give it a shake, make sure it's got not too big lumps in it. And it's there we go. I won't firm it down too much. Just a little pat. And this one. So we're going to just put some onions in today, because I really need to have some more onions. I did grow onions from seed last year. This year, God's sake, I've lost a year. So I found that I've done some onion sets that I bought, which were quite expensive, and I've done some red onions and white onions from sets in that bed over there. And I should have left them longer, but they did start going to seed, so I did harvest them. They're the ones that I'm now going to pickle, which are sort of like this sort of size. They're not that big. And also in this bed here was these Alicia Gray onions from seed, and I can truthfully say, compared to the sets that I've done and the seeds that I've done, there's not much comparison in the size. So yeah, probably do onions outside once it's really difficult here because I've never cultivated the soil before outside, so I've really got no idea what kind of pests we're going to have. This year with the brassicas, we're seeing all kinds of slugs mainly, which have been a real headache. I just noticed today when I looked at my brassicas down one end that they're starting to get attacked again, even though I've put all these different deterrents on. I'm going to give them a spray with some more neem oil and just go and look at them and see if I can see any visual slugs and put some more beer in the beer things. But the only trouble is with the beer traps, when it rains, the rain's just washing away all the beer, so it's like, yeah. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do about that. So what we're going to do in this one, we're going to do I'm just going to make a couple of lines. No, let's not bother with that. No, let's not do lines, let's just throw them in. So we just put these Alicia Gray carrots, and I think last year I just put the seeds straight in the soil. This year, not last year, it was this year, the beginning of this year I done it. But I put them straight in the soil. So this year we're going to do them a different way this time. So we're going to sprinkle them all around. And we do succession sowings. So we need to put a label on. There's still quite a few seeds left in there. Do a couple more. Because obviously they take a long time to become an onion when they're from seed. But you could just use them for the onion tops. You could just grow them for that. You don't have to wait until they're a fully fledged onion if you don't want to. I will try some different onion seeds this year. When I order some seeds, I will try some different onion seeds, see what other people are growing and see if they grow better. I'll have a look at some of my favourite people that I watch and I'll see what they're growing. Some of the experts, because they've been gardening for years. Anyway, that's that. So that didn't take long, did it? So I need to label it. I hope I've got my pen. Yeah, I've got a pen. I'll do it on the back of this one. So I usually try and reuse the labels both sides. So it's the date that's more important than anything. So it's the 27th of the 10th, 21, Alicia Gray. Onions. So it's the date. So we're going to see if by growing them now for next year and see if that works. So wish us luck. So we'll put it over there with the rest of our seedlings. It's quite a lot of light on this table. In my polytunnel, the sun comes up over there and comes round this way and sets over there, and during the summer the sun sets further and further round and the sun then comes in from that way into the rest of the polytunnel, but during the winter the sun will be quite low. So these plants, this is why I put the seeds on this table here rather than over there. Once they've grown like this, the little baby pansies that I've put over there now, and that table there is for plants that you just forget about, so that like those ones I've just done, so I just forget about those now for a while. But on this table is my function table where I put all my seedlings so I can keep an eye on them really closely, whereas if I put them over there it's harder for me to see. And this table here is my table that I use for doing everything, you know, potting up, and I've got all my bulbs here. Any new seeds that I want to do, I just bring them in here and leave them on the table until I'm ready to use them. And it has my sprays and stuff like that. I try to declutter it quite often. I don't like loads of clutter in my polytunnel. I try and keep it tidy. I don't want loads of stuff. So I can't see what I'm doing. All of my pots and stuff like that are kept in the garage at the back. There's some shelves. I've got like this side of the garage dedicated to the garden. So in there I try and keep all the pots and everything, not keep them in the polytunnel. All the watering cans get put outside. They're not left. I mean, at the moment I've got 2 watering cans in here. I will tidy them up and put them outside. I have a bin for paper, for, you know, like the empty packets of these. I burn a lot of my rubbish, by the way. and I compost nearly everything that I can compost, like food waste, cardboard, I reuse it all on my garden, plastic bags, I reuse them. I try and use everything, so you know, we really are careful what we do here. So I just thought I'd give you a rundown of that because yeah, I really am proud of my polytunnel that my partner and I put up, and hopefully next year I will be more used to it with like productivity. One thing that I'm not going to grow, because I noticed everybody's doing seeds now for broad beans, but I really don't like them. So I'm not growing them again. I've actually decided whatever it is we don't like, we're not growing. We're only going to grow things we actually want to eat. Because space is of essence, and even though I've got a massive garden, I have to go right over the other side of the garden. Next year I'm going to put squashes out there, and I want to try growing tomatoes out there, but I really don't know if it's going to work out because of all the pheasants and stuff like that. I've got no clue if it's going to be alright. So everything that, like salad crops and everything, I want to keep near the house, which is near the house, and brassicas, so I can keep an eye on pests and stuff. I'm a bit wary about putting them right over the other side in the other garden. So everything that I really want to keep that I've sowed from seeds, I'm trying to grow in the polytunnel and trying to transplant some of it to outside. So next year we'll be doing more of that. I mean, you know, I can't grow all the brassicas indoors. They don't like it. So I'll try growing brassicas in here. As you saw on my previous videos, if you've seen any of my previous videos, the broccoli that I grew, the green stemmed broccoli, which is what I had tiny heads on, and the growth was like up here in one of my beds over there. It was all greenery growth and hardly any actual broccoli, if you know what I mean. So this year I'm growing a few broccoli in that bed because they're spare, so I've actually just thrown them in at the back, so I know that they grow quite tall now. I didn't know how big broccoli grew either, so I've put them in the back. And the red cabbage, because we like it for medicinal purposes, it's really, really good for you. It's got a lot of medicinal qualities. Go and look up red cabbage. It is really, really good for you. And if my partner starts getting a bout of gout, well, hopefully he won't now, we've got rid of it, but if you get any kind of inflammation, swellings or anything like that, this is only our personal opinion, by the way. Do not take me as a doctor or medic or anything like that. I'm just telling you what we do for our own health, and whether you want to do anything for your health is up to you. But I'm telling you from my perspective that we grow the red cabbage because it is really good for our health. May not be good for your health, but it is good for our health, and I really love it. I love red cabbage, so I'm growing some more red cabbage in here, but I also have a few outside, but just in case they don't grow, I'm growing some in here, and hopefully this year, this soil in these raised beds is better than the soil in the corner where I first grew it. We haven't really sort of mulched that soil enough. I think I've got to put another layer of mulch over the top and some more soil. I am growing some rocket at the front. It still hasn't come through yet, so that just shows you. Whereas over here in this bed where there's like more peaty kind of soil, this is actually the rocket's growing, so that just goes to show. Anyway, so what I've done now, I've just done some spring onions. I'll just put a few more in. I'm not sure how many. I was talking, so now I don't know how many seeds I've put in. I'll just sprinkle them around like that. And what we'll do is we'll thin them out. But there's quite a few left in there, so we can do another sign of spring onions. And I'll take these back indoors because I like to keep my seeds indoors in a cupboard that's not damp. Because these are made of paper, these ones, and these are made of shiny paper, but this one's already got damp. But it's got those little foil things inside, but still I don't leave them out here just in case little missies come in. And I don't leave them in the garage because last year, no, not last year, this year, at the beginning of this year, I left some seeds that I bought, some wildflower seeds, and I lost 6 packets because the mice went in there and nibbled and took out all the seeds it wanted and left the rest, which is why in a bed outside I just threw the rest in there. And that's what I was going to do with them anyway, but this whatever little like field mice they are came in and ate them all, so I never had any. So I will buy some more of those wildflower seeds because I want to just throw them in the garden. So let's see. And I want to put my trees out. I've got, and all my hedging. I've got a lot to do. But never mind. 27th of the 10th. Right, so these cabbage are the ones I've already done. These are the January King. I'm not going to write that. I can just look it up if I need to know. If somebody wants to know what cabbage they are, I'll just go and look it up. But anyway, because they're the only ones I've got. And they've got quite a lot of red in them. If you look. See? They're quite red. So they're January King. No, that's wrong. That's not what I just sowed, is it? It's because I'm talking, see? Now I threw myself off. No, I didn't sow those. That's not what's in there. That's these onions. I haven't sowed the red cabbage yet. Oh my god, I'm going mental. I've done the label for the cabbage. Never mind. Right. This is when I thought that in time. I would have noticed that it wasn't cabbage once it starts growing because onions just grow straight. Right, so that's the onions. So that's the. Oh, I just put red. 27. Oh, it's quite windy in here. I need to shut the door a bit. Oh, this pen's not working now. It's these plastic things. It's not the pen. Oh, it's not working now. Oh, that's really annoying. Right, I'm just going to put it in there. I can't actually see what it says, but the pen's not working now. I mean, it's just too cold. I need some different pens. Right, so that's the onions, the spring onions that I just sowed in there, okay? Not what I just said. Oh, twit. Oh, in here, this pot, we're going to put in the cabbage, which is all, this pot's already done, ready. Now we'll do the cabbage. We haven't actually done the cabbage. They're mental. Yep, completely different colour. I'm not going to throw a few of these around here. And I will put them on. Oh wow, there's loads there. Oh, there's a lot of these seeds. Got quite a few more sowings in there. So that's the January King cabbage, which I've already done the label for. I'll put that in my pocket. Just put a little thin layer of compost on here. There we go. I don't know how long they'll take to come up. It's quite cold, the soil. It's not very warm. Might take a while. Anyway, so that's that. So that's the January King. I want to have a look at my peas. They're starting to come up now since yesterday. So that's really good. And today, what am I going to do outside? It's time. I'm going to make lunch now. Oh, my phone's there. This is just the case. Anyway, I'll come back after lunch because I'm going to go and make some lunch now. And then I might try and hang up the camera outside. If I take this little thing, I might find somewhere to clip it onto so I can show you what I'm going to do outside today. Okay, so I'll see you in a little while. I just want to show you the peas. Right, so here's the peas since yesterday. See, there's more coming up there now. And there's one coming up in here. So they seem to be alright with this compost that I made. And is there anything in here? I can see better through the camera, it's really cool. Nothing coming up there yet. Might be something coming up in there. Or it just might be a weed seed. Not sure. Anyway, see, and the wallflowers are growing. So that's pretty cool since yesterday. Yeah, so there's all the pots I just done. So I will have to find another pen. Yeah, I've got to... Oh yeah, I just want to show you. I just watered down here. I just want to show you the... I still haven't sorted out this... these. Oh dear. I must put them in the polytunnel. Yeah, I'll put them in there now. And I'll just put them in one of the beds somewhere. And take this celery and... I need to just check they haven't got any slugs on the bottom. Something on the bottom of that one. I'll have to wipe it off first before I bring it into the polytunnel. And these are the dianthus, not dianthus, these are the foxgloves that I actually got out the other day. And I'm going to pot these on in some pots. I know they look really bad at the moment, but they're really hardy. And I just want to have them so that I can just dot them around. I could do some more foxgloves in here actually. They're only wild foxgloves. They're purple. They're wild. But look at my garden. It's all looking a bit messy. But the old tobacco flowers are still going. And I did notice last night they still have a scent. They still smell nice. And in here I'll show you the brassicas that are starting to get a bit eaten, which is in that bed with the wool, which I thought would be the best one. And look, oh, these ones on the corner here. So I need to sort that out and see if I can find the slug, drown it. But these are all right, touch wood. I'm going to spray them again, but I need to just open this up this end and have a look what's going on in there and put some more beer in. Yeah, I need to do that today. I'll do that sometime today. I need to put a pot on top of this stick here before it pokes through the netting. Yeah, I need to do that. So there's all these need to do jobs, see? Need to do, need to do, need to do. Oh, and I think that might be a caterpillar that's done that. What do you think? Looks like caterpillar hole. Doesn't look like the way a slug normally eats. I'm just going to check that and spray it with some neem oil as well. Oh, and next week my task is to sort all these plants out. I'll have to take out all these bulbs, all the gladioli bulbs. So I'm going to take them all out, but I'm just leaving them for this week. But I will sort all this out and replant them with the spring bulbs that I've got indoors in the polytunnel. So I will plant all this up again and redo all this, and I will take all these bulbs out and dry them off. So that's my plan, and replant them and move my camellia. I think it needs to go into a much bigger pot, so I will do that. And the trees, they've nearly lost all their leaves, but once they've lost all their leaves I will be taking them back in the polytunnel to overwinter. So all these plants, so this is all going to change very, very, very soon, apart from this pot here with the mint in. And I still didn't collect all my coriander seeds. It's too late now. That's the end of that. So you see all my garden, look how messy it is. Oh, anyway, I'll let you go because I need to go and make the dinner now, and I'll show you what I'm going to do after dinner. Okay. Sue here again, and it is now 20 to 3 on the 27th of October 2021, and I'm afraid I'm not going to be doing anything else in the polytunnel today or outside because I've got to take my partner to the dentist at 4 o'clock, and I've just been speaking to my son for over an hour on the phone and making the dinner. So I haven't actually got time to come back out and do anything, so I'm just going to lock up the garage. And well, I did some seeds today and I sorted out the physalis, and so I've done that today, so it's not like I haven't done anything. I've watered things in the polytunnel because some stuff needs watering. I've done some seeds today, so I'm going to have to leave it there for today because yeah, and I don't think I really want to do anything outside today anyway because it's really not a very nice day, and well, I just haven't got time to tell you the truth. My partner's in a meeting at the moment, and then once he's finished his meeting, and we're just going to have some dinner, and then it'll basically be time to go to Dolbrodmaeth, where he's got to go to the dentist today, and I'm going to go and get a bit of shopping while he's in there. So that's it really. I'm just looking at what I've done to them rocket there. I think I knocked them over. I always get carried away looking at stuff on the ground. There's the radish actually down there. Anyway, so that's it. So if you want to know about anything where we live, the Dolbrodmaeth, and what we're doing here, anything about my gardening and my polytunnel or my animals or anything, just leave a comment below and let me know. Please like and subscribe to my channel and tell your friends and family about my channel, and I'll see you again soon. So bye for now. Bye.